In a world that often feels chaotic and disconnected, we are drawn to stories that remind us of what truly matters. Stories of unwavering loyalty, of profound kindness, and of a destiny that is woven into the fabric of our lives. Even when we cannot see the pattern, we search for proof that even in our darkest moments of loss and despair, there's a hidden hand at work, turning bitterness into blessing. What if I told you that one of the most perfect, beautiful, and powerful of these stories is tucked away in the heart of the Old Testament? It is a book that reads like a masterfully written romance, a story set in a time of chaos and famine, that begins with a funeral and ends with a wedding, a story that seems small and personal, yet holds a crucial key to the greatest story ever told. Today, we are opening the book of Ruth. This is far more than just an ancient love story. It is a deep and moving exploration of loyalty, a masterclass in redemption, and a breathtaking revelation of how God's divine providence works through the small, ordinary, and courageous choices of faithful people to change the world forever. Our story begins in a dark time, in the days when the judges ruled, a period of moral decay and social chaos in Israel. And it begins with a tragedy. A famine forces an Israelite man named Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their two sons to leave their home in Bethlehem and seek refuge in the pagan land of Moab. But this new land offers no real safety. First, Naomi's husband dies. Then her two sons, after marrying Moabite women named Orpah and Ruth, also die. After a decade, Naomi is left a widow, childless, and destitute in a foreign land. She is utterly empty. Her grief is so profound that when she finally decides to return to her homeland, she tells her friends, "Don't call me Naomi," which means pleasant. She says, "Call me Mara, for the Almighty has made my life very bitter." This is a woman at rock bottom, her heart hollowed out by loss. On the road back to Bethlehem, she turns to her two Moabite daughters-in-law and urges them to return to their own families, to their own gods. It is a moment of heartbreaking realism. Orpah, weeping, makes a logical choice and turns back. But Ruth, in one of the most stunning declarations of loyalty ever recorded, refuses. She clings to the bitter old woman who has nothing left to offer her, and she speaks these immortal words: "Do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." This is not mere affection. This is His. It is a radical, covenantal, and sacrificial love. Ruth, the foreign outcast, chooses to bind her destiny to a destitute widow and an unknown God in an unknown land. And with this single, courageous choice, a new story begins to bloom from the ashes of tragedy. They arrive in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Two widows with no means of support. With incredible initiative, Ruth tells Naomi she is going to the fields to glean, to pick up the leftover grain behind the harvesters, a provision God had made in His law for the poorest of the poor. It is humble, backbreaking work. And the Bible tells us, as it turned out, she found herself working in a field belonging to Boaz. This is not a coincidence. It is a quiet turning of the gears of divine providence. Boaz is a wealthy and respected landowner, and more than that, he is a man of great integrity and kindness. He has heard about Ruth's incredible loyalty to Naomi. He approaches this foreign woman working in his field and shows her extraordinary grace. He tells her to stay in his fields, where she will be safe. He commands his workers to leave extra grain for her. He shares his own food and water with her. In a world that was hostile to outsiders, Boaz demonstrates a radical kindness that flows from a heart that honors God. And for the first time in a long time, a seed of hope is planted in the barren ground of Naomi's life. Naomi realizes that Boaz is a kinsman redeemer, a male relative who has a legal right and responsibility to rescue a family from extinction by marrying a childless widow and buying back their land to preserve the family name. And so, this once bitter woman formulates a bold plan. She instructs Ruth to go to the threshing floor at night, a public place of work, and perform a culturally specific, deeply symbolic act of proposing a redemptive marriage to Boaz. Boaz is praised for his integrity. Ruth is praised for her loyalty. Which of these two qualities do you think is more needed in our world today? Share your thoughts. In this daring and vulnerable moment, Ruth's character shines, and Boaz responds with perfect honor and integrity. He praises her for her loyal heart and agrees to redeem her. But there is one final obstacle. Another man is a closer relative and has the first right of redemption. The next morning, Boaz goes to the city gate, the place of legal transactions, and skillfully and honorably negotiates with the other man, who relinquishes his right. And before the elders of the city, Boaz declares that he will take Ruth as his wife, to restore the name of the dead and to preserve their family line. The story now comes to its beautiful conclusion. Boaz marries Ruth. The bitter widow, Naomi, is now a beloved mother-in-law. The barren foreign woman, Ruth, is now an honored wife. And soon, she gives birth to a son named Obed. The women of the town rejoice with Naomi, saying, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a kinsman redeemer." Naomi, whose arms were empty, is now seen holding her grandson, her heart full, her bitterness turned to blessing. It is a perfect, happy ending to a small, personal story. But the final verses of the book pull back the camera to reveal that this was never just a small story. The narrator gives us a short genealogy. Obed, the son of the foreign woman Ruth, and the farmer Boaz, became the father of Jesse, and Jesse became the father of David. In that moment, our breath catches. This intimate story of loyalty and love in a forgotten village was a crucial, indispensable link in the chain leading to Israel's greatest king. But the destiny woven into the story is even grander than that, because the line of David is the royal line of the Messiah. This ancient love story was a vital chapter in the grand, cosmic love story of God's plan to bring his ultimate kinsman redeemer, Jesus Christ, into the world. Ruth, the Moabite, the outcast, the foreigner, is brought from the margins of society into the very center of God's redemptive history, becoming an ancestor of the Savior of the world. The book of Ruth teaches us that our small, everyday act of loyalty and kindness can have an eternal impact that we may never see. It shows us that God's great plan is not accomplished only through grand miracles, but through the quiet, faithful choices of ordinary people. And it reminds us that our God is a redeemer, a God who specializes in taking our stories of bitterness and loss and weaving them into a breathtaking tapestry of grace, destiny, and unbreakable love. If this story of loyalty and redemption has inspired you, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Join us as we continue to uncover the profound beauty and the unified story found within the pages of the Bible.